Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Machedo is the best.
Oh, today I'll speak to you about my opinion, okay, about Narendra Modi and the situation of India. What do I think about it and who is to blame? In fact, I think the question should be the current problems in India. Is Modi to blame for it? Is the BJP to blame for it? Is it a global problem, or should you blame individuals? In fact, I read one article from the print where they showed this guy, the same guy who was involved in a spoof video with the, Kangana Ranaut and the CEO. Can't get that guy's name, Vasudev or something. So this guy is viral on social media, and he keeps posting nationalistic tweets or messages. And that article stated that today's youth is completely lost, where they only take part in politics and all this anti Muslim or anti-whatever rhetoric. And they're not focused about their careers and their future. So now the question is Modi to blame for all this? Okay, so this is the purpose of this video. Now, I really reflected on it. I really thought both the sides, for and against. Okay, and just so that you know, I keep getting this often. If I speak anything good about BJP or Modi, they say sponsored by BJP or sponsored, they paid me some money. And then if I speak against it, I get all the Hindus saying that, or BJP hardliners saying that you're anti-national and you're a traitor and sponsored by Pakistan or Khalistan or George Soros. Please, if you know any sponsors who can sponsor me, I'll be very happy. And, YouTube's rules, if anyone sponsors, I have to say sponsored by. As of now, unfortunately, nobody is sponsored. And if you know any sponsor, it'll be nice to make some money. Seriously. We can talk about the rates, starting from $10,000. I know, expensive, right? You'll be, you're not worth it. Anyway, that's apart from the point. Okay, so nobody is sponsoring me to say this. Now, I'll be honest with you. The first thing is, whatever India's situation is, okay, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't impact me. Why? Because I'm a NRI, non-resident Indian. Like some of you say, not required Indian. So that should give you a clear indication whether I speak for or against. I don't benefit in any way. And whether the BJP is in power or Congress is in power, once again, it doesn't benefit me in any way. Unless, of course, there is some massive new rule for NRIs, which I don't see happening, at least anytime soon. Okay. So I'm very neutral on the subject. And yes, I can be biased. I'm being honest here. I'm being biased towards, because I'm human, just like you. I'm also a human being. I can be biased. Okay. So now, Modi has, kind of, or the BJP has dominated India, ruled India. You had the Congress phase, where Congress ruled and dominated India. And people saw everything became bad to us, or people wanted a change, whatever. Maybe I'm not saying everything Congress did was bad. There were some good things, which BJP will anyway deny. And then it was time for a new change. I think people wanted the new flavor of the month. Now, currently, BJP has dominated India with a very smart, very, very smart strategy of social media, of nationalistic pride, appealing to the majority voters, which are Hindus, and doing what makes people happy, while at the same time diverting the minds from the issues at hand. For example, where the BJP has not succeeded is inflation, petrol costs, cost of goods and commodities. You know, this guy, that flexible yogi, he is a very funny guy. Patanjali, whatever, is the owner. Flexible guy, huh? Damn flexible, damn strong. Making millions and billions, who knows how much. So he was saying, do you want, I remember there was a small clip where he said, do you want a government that gives you something for cheap or something expensive? So the answer is obvious, something for cheap, like oil or whatever. So that time he was, because after BJP came, the prices, they thought they could stabilize. But after the prices shot up, and the reporter asked him, you said, do you want a government who is super cheap or super expensive, Today the BJP, he immediately told the reporter, you keep quiet, don't ask me. Don't ask me anything. So, if you look at it from that measurement, yes, the BJP has failed, the government. But then, let's understand this, globally, which country has managed to bring down the prices of petrol? I'm not siding with the BJP, okay? I'm asking a very simple question. Show me which country has managed to completely negate the effects of inflation, rising costs, rising petrol prices. I'm pretty sure in most of the populous countries, they have not. Why? Because today we are in an interconnected economy. Even for that matter, COVID. Okay, the way BJP, the government went about was absolutely atrocious. Absolutely. It was a, disaster of great magnitudes. The only people who benefited from this was people who were rich and people who had houses and didn't have to bother traveling. But the poor people on the streets, they had to travel thousands and thousands of kilometers. And then, yes, another area where I'm not very favorable with the BJP is, the way this Citizenship Amendment Act and, how you segregate people, or if you're Muslim, this, and the way it was put into place, they actually weaponized it. Intentions were good, but they weaponized it. Even religion. See, Hinduism is, to be honest with you, Hinduism, it's more like Buddhism. It's supposed to be peaceful. But today you get a bunch of hooligans who put saffron stuff at the top of their head and flags, and then they say Jai Shri Ram, and they shout, and they want to vandalize mosques and property and break things. It's just like Black Lives Matter, no? Okay, you're saying Black Lives Matter. What about White Lives Matter? What about, Asian Lives Matter? I mean, you're segregating people. And then protesting Black Lives Matter, okay, someone died by vandalizing and burning and killing, and that's not destroying public property is not right. It's a criminal act. So in the same way, what these guys are doing is wrong. But on the flip side, you also have the other religion, which is not a saint. Yes, Islam is very, a very closed religion that just cannot accept other religions. Yes, maybe they can coexist quietly, but within its own, small little bubbles, they constantly want to spread the word of Islam. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Muslims and Islam, they want to spread their religion because they believe that is true. So that is why these imams and mosques, they have Islamic studies. And we do not know what these guys are actually teaching. Is there any live camera that can literally transparently show? No. They will call you kafir, they will call you like non-believer. They will say, oh, if you are part of us and our religion, you're saved. These are non-believers, they believe in fake gods. So both sides, to be honest, both sides have good and bad. Now coming to what Modi is doing. See, Modi he's what I look at him as a very dynamic leader. To be honest with you, very, very dynamic. See what he did for Gujarat. He transformed it. Modi is a very dynamic leader. Modi has many plus points. At the same time, Modi also has many drawbacks and many failures. It's not that Modi has done everything correct. At the same time, it's not that Modi has succeeded in everything. Like, for example, the currency, you remember? Changing the currency notes and all that. They tried to make it a success. It didn't work out because the crooks always find loopholes of the system. You cannot stop corruption. You cannot stop black money. You cannot stop. These guys will always figure out a loophole in the system. Okay. So the failures were, one was Citizenship Amendment Act, which I don't see as, honestly, I don't see it as a success, at least until now. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And it's being misused in a lot of places. The second one is this demonetization. All it did was give the middle class a little massive headache. The rich people had a little bit of inconvenience, but they figured out the loopholes of the system. Yes, a lot of people did lose money, black money, whatever. Then the third area where BJP has failed is the rising cost. The fourth area is COVID, okay? The way it was implemented. Now, having said that, are they successes of the BJP? Yes. Now you will say, oh, what are the successes? And especially I know some of you will say, oh, you're not staying in India. What the hell do you know? During my business trip, I happened to meet a group of young Indians, group of them. And I even met one couple in the Apple store. Okay. Now the couple they were working, they were very well-to-do. Not well-to-do, but substantially well off. And but they were staying in India. And this group of youngsters that I met were educated abroad, and okay, we spoke. They thanked me for my channel and took photographs and whatever. Now I asked them about Modi. I asked them about the BJP. They said they were very happy with him. Okay, just mind you. Huh? And then you'll say, oh, these are only Hindus. They were an eclectic mix of, they were Hindus, they were Muslims, they were different. I think it was maybe a group holiday or whatever. And one of them said, nah, I'm not in favor. But the others, the majority all said, we are very happy. India has today become a global power. It has become recognized. They spoke about the space program. They spoke about, more airports. They spoke about being recognized globally as a superpower. They spoke about the improvements in, trade and quite a number of things. Obviously, I have to verify and check all this information because there's plenty of stuff. They said a lot of stuff. But overall, in a nutshell, they said they were very happy. Now, this is in stark contrast to what Al Jazeera will show, which obviously is Qatar, Muslim sponsored. This is stark contrast of what this BBC or CNN will show. American media, anyway, they don't have anything positive to say about India. And when they want to bully and twist India, they say you have violation of human rights, but they don't focus on their own track record. They'll always bash up India with violence and killing, but they'll not talk of the gun violence. So US is nobody to lecture anyone on human rights and any moral issue. Okay, US is nothing and nobody. They need to sort out their own shit. Okay, so, and yes, there are a lot of even Indian channels that are not very supportive of Modi. Now, coming to the question, after I give you all this, main question, is Modi to blame? Is the BJP to blame? Where the country's situation on a macro level is concerned, let's say unemployment, yes, the leader has to be blamed. Where inflation, yes, the leader has to be blamed. Where the failures, yes, the leader has to be blamed. But at the same time, where the successes are there, the leader also should be given credit, correct? Tell me if I'm wrong, both the sides, no? Okay, so Modi has good as well as bad. But the thing which I admire the most about Modi, for 1 billion people, that also Indians, more than 1 billion, they are an impossible lot to handle. Indians are the hardest to manage. You ask any company in the Middle East, you ask anybody abroad, Indians are the hardest to manage because they're just all over the place. They have so many different kinds of opinions. And then when you see in India itself, the cultures, the traditions, the locations, north, south, east, west, the opinions, it'll drive you mad. I mean, Kerala and Gujarat, Bengal and Mumbai, Hindus and Muslims. I mean, it's impossible to manage India, man. And then I'm talking about a group of Indians, it's impossible to manage. This man is managing 1 billion people. Just imagine what leadership does it take? And I've always asked this question, if not Modi, then who? Rahul Gandhi? Please. He is a comedic relief. I really tried my level best to like him. I really feel there is something wrong with him psychologically. He's a smart guy, but this thing, I really feel he should go to a psychiatrist. And I'm not saying out of spite. There's something really wrong with him. Some of his, I don't know, is he putting on an act to be, or does he want to be a stand-up comedian? Some of his answers, you're like, did he just say what he said? The only other person that I see is Arvind Kejriwal or that lady Mamta from Kolkata. But they also have a very small constituents. They do not have a majority support like Narendra Modi. Now, so on the macro level, yes, Modi has to be blamed, both for the good and bad, okay? But now comes on an individual level. Should Modi be blamed? Like especially they're talking about, okay, today's youth, they are not studying. Today's youth are unemployed. Today's youth are, aimless. Here's my answer. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Now, let's say me. Let's say the president of the country or the prime minister makes rules that are unfavorable. There are no jobs, so I'm jobless. Example, there are no jobs. I can't work for any company. Inflation is sky high. Okay? Giving a real life example. And I'm here. Now, me, if I take social media, if I take the smartphone and I start browsing Facebook, TikTok and Twitter and start posting nonsense, is it Modi or is it any prime minister or, hey, okay, is it any Modi or anyone telling me to do this or I'm doing this? I'm a grown-ass adult, right? If I'm watching porn, should I say Modi is to be blamed? If, let's say, I'm teasing other girls, Modi is to be, I'm smoking, I'm drinking, Modi is to be blamed. I'm a bum, Modi is to be blamed. I don't have communication skills, Modi is to be blamed. I failed in my exam, Modi is to be blamed. I mean, till where do you stop? Where does personal responsibility, personal accountability come into place? If today I am successful, for example, I'm just saying, okay, the definition can vary. You might say, you're not successful, fine. Let's assume that my definition of success, I have enough money where I can relax for, let's say, 2 years with my family, not have to worry, okay? Not like rich, comfortable, I don't have to worry. I'm earning my daily bread. I have customers. I'm living a nice life. That for me is success, happiness. Okay, I'm happy. I'm working the way I am. Now, is my success because of Modi? Or is my success because I studied, I worked hard, I burned the midnight oil, I was creative, I implemented different strategies, I tried different things, I met people, I was proactive in nature, I had determination, perseverance. So which one is it? It's obvious, right? It's the latter. If tomorrow I waste time, I smoke, I drink, I watch porn, I chase girls, I waste my time on social media, Modi is not to be blamed. It is that person. In fact, here's something even more bigger. Today's children and today's youth, I could hear this guy driving fast. That's why I came at the side. He was really driving fast. I could hear it, so I came at the side. And you see what happened? When they came, he immediately moved the side. Had I been here, moved at the side, he would have hit me. Smart, right? Okay, cat has 9 lives. Anyway, so what I was saying was, it's because, I did. You can't go around blaming, oh, because of Modi, because of this guy, because of that, because of God. You have to take personal responsibility. See, here's a simple thing. Okay, Modi, inflation and COVID and all that. Why is it there are some people successful while some are not? In fact, in your classroom of friends, students, let's say there were 100, 80 have just, 80 are just middle class or lower than that. 80%, just average or bad. 20% have succeeded. And out of the 20%, 10 have really achieved greatness. And out of that, 1 has become a multi-millionaire, whatever. So now who's to blame? Are you going to blame the teacher? Are you going to say, no, I worked hard? Yeah, it does factor into a very small extent. But not everything, man. Personal responsibility has to come. And in fact, what I was saying before that car thing happened was, instead of blaming Modi, these young kids have to blame their mother and father. What is their upbringing? Now you will say, oh, kids today blame their parents. Blaming the parents is until you complete schooling. After schooling, you have to start your life. You have to take personal responsibility, not because of my mummy, because of my dad. See, I was abused. I was tormented, tortured. I was one of the worst, horrible parents anyone could ask. Beaten, bloodied, bruised, battered, abused, and my uncle sexually molested and raped me multiple times. I had horrible, horrible life. But see where I am. Yes, I made plenty of bad choices. Okay, you can say the tattoos, the rebel, dropping out of school, college. But today, where am I? So the failures of me, my failures, because of me. I took those decisions. Nobody put a gun to my head and said, do that. And today, if I'm making money, because of me. So I'm not giving credit to God or anybody else. It's me. So in the same way, on a micro level, to blame Modi and this and that is bullshit. Where does personal accountability, personal responsibility come into play? See, if it was something like someone took a gun and shot and you can say the gun laws, fine, that was not in your control. But your decisions, your decision-making capacity is in your hands, right? Who's preventing you from opening a book and reading? Who's preventing you from applying for a job? Oh, you'll say, okay, there are no jobs in India. Then get the fuck out, man. Beg, borrow, plead. I know so many people who have literally left India to become a sweeper. They work like a slave. Initially, it was tough. Eventually, they succeeded. I spoke to one of the guys who I know who's based in Canada. He's at a very high level, director. Okay, and most of the time when people move to Canada, they take my services, I ask him questions. His brother, okay, just imagine, his brother came to Canada with nothing. Didn't know anything of Canada, from India. In 2 short years, Just two. He not only started off from the grassroots, the most minimum, he got 4 promotions, 4 in 2 years, and today is at the management level. He's just purchased, I think, his second house. He's doing very well, he and his wife, both at a very senior level. And he's saying, that guy was telling me, man, my brother has almost nearly surpassed the money that I made. And he's saying, I was here like nearly 20, 22 years ago. My brother surpassed me. And who's to blame? You think he should blame Trudeau? You think he should blame Russia, Ukraine, COVID? And best part is he arrived in Canada during the COVID, during the lockdown. In 2 years. And I only believe this story because I know this guy. He's not a bullshitter. See, bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you here is, you need to stop this blame game. You need to stop this nonsense. I think what the youth and what people need to do is take personal responsibility and accountability. See, agreed, Modi is, and the BJP is doing what they have to do. It's a game of politics. Modi and this one is not your friend. Tomorrow you don't have a job, Modi is not going to come and feed you. Tomorrow your family is hospitalized, Modi is not going to visit your family and check how they are. If you are unemployed with no money, no future, Modi is not going to come, or BJP is not going to. No. They have their own cross to carry, their own shit to worry about. You have to take care of yourself. So stop. See, remember, it's a game of politics. Rahul Gandhi is not your friend. Modi is not your friend. Congress is not your friend. BJP is not your friend. They are doing whatever game they can play. Congress's only job is to show the flaws, bad, but they don't have a track record for anything. And Rahul Gandhi will every time come to take holidays to Thailand to pray and meditate. I'm sure you know what I mean. Prays a lot. And does this press conference and gives this prediction. But what has he done? So remember, BJP, Congress, Modi, Rahul Gandhi, whether Mamata Banerjee or Arvind Kejriwal, they will do what they have to do to stay in power. It's a dirty game of politics. They are nobody's friend. India will always have issues and problems. Some will find it unbearable, some will find it bearable. There will be opportunities, there will be threats. But you have to take control of your life. Like for example, me. Why do you think I chose not to be in India? Because I knew my personality, my style, my preference, it wouldn't work for me in India. In fact, like these videos, if I make in India, fuck, I'll get beaten up by some lunatic hardliner, whether Congress or BJP. Someone will come and beat me up. People say, oh, if you have guts, come and say, yeah, I might have the guts. But if I get beaten up, bloodied and broken and my house set on fire, guts I had, what was the result? Common sense has to come into play, right? So please stop being a victim. Yes, BJP will always do things which you and I don't like. There will always be policies which you and I don't favor. Hindus will support Hindus, Muslims will support Muslims, Congress will support Congress. You just worry about your ass. And don't get into all this political. Have an opinion, yes. Don't spend 24/7 just being into it. Because at the end of the day, take it from me, it's not going to feed you. Like these youth who are on, like they call them keyboard warriors, social media warriors. Hey, teri maa ki, tere ben ki, hey, what the fuck, BJP, we are this and that, and BJP will forever, and Hinduism is forever, Jai Shri Ram, and oh, Allah Akbar, and Islam will forever prevail, and Prophet Muhammad, and it's not going to feed you, boss. Try. See if Lord Krishna or Sri Ram comes from heaven and gives you Here, take this nice job, well-paying job. Or Allah and Prophet Muhammad. Here, take, make money. I know you'll ask me, hey, you, rice bag. I love rice. Rice is very good for health. I love rice. You like urine, cow urine, and cow dung? Oh. And then if some other religion, I know, hello, Guru. My comebacks are there. Come back. You know, come. I will come back on you. Anyway, all I want to tell you is, see, listen, buddy. Money is the name of the game. Money. Focus on making money. All these belief systems, all these politics, when you have enough and more money, get into them. I am constantly in touch with people who have money. I don't like poor people. I'm sorry. I don't have anything against them, but I don't have time for them. And if I talk to someone poor, yes, few minutes here and there, hi, how are you? My time is very important. I might be hated, but this is my policy. In the same way, Modi has his policies. BJP has their agenda. Everyone is focused. You focus on yourself. This politics and news and keyboard warriors is not going to help you. All I want to conclude by saying is, yes, BJP is to be blamed for the bad, the failures, and the good and the successes at a macro level. But at a micro level, at this tiny level where you are concerned, where I am concerned, it all comes down to personal responsibility, personal accountability, and taking personal charge of your life. Use a little bit of this, avoid acting from this, and you'll succeed. That's all I want to tell you. Anyway, my wife and my baby has come from school. Want to see? What you want? What you want? Strawberry.
Ice cream
Oh, you strawberry. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Go, go, go. You guys take care. Me signing off. Chalo. My family's come. See, have a look. That's called life. Oi. Yes.
Which one? You have a dessert there.
Oh, lizard. Oh, okay. Okay, there's a lizard. Okay. Huh. Come. Okay, okay. Come down.
ขึ้นไปถอดรองเท้านะคะไว้ที่เดิมนะคะเดี๋ยวคุณแม่ถือกระเป๋าให้นะคะโอ้
Okay.
ช่วยถือคุณแม่ถือหมวกมาได้ไหม
She ate food?
She eat ice cream already.
No means food she ate?
Lunch she have in school.
Okay. What time they? Chocolate. Okay. Bye bye. Okay. You guys take care. So, my little one. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Okay. See you.